the Chi-Town experience on the flight. Let me go tune in to Keek on the mic. He gon' make sure we get our news and highlights. When you get on YouTube, you better hit the like.
A growing Chicago Bears rumor has finally been confirmed. Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Bears fans, before I go any further with today's episode of Keek on the Mic, I first and foremost want to say another huge thank you for all the love and support you guys have been showing the channel. I did recently do a giveaway of a Caleb Williams jersey. So before I go any further, I'm actually going to announce the winner of that giveaway. And the winner of the Caleb Williams jersey is Chris Heinz. So congratulations, Chris. Make sure you either DM me on X, Instagram, or even message me on YouTube as well to claim your Caleb Williams jersey. Bears fans, don't worry. I will be doing another giveaway very soon. It's one of the things that I definitely enjoy doing is giving back to you guys for all this love and support you guys continue to show Keek on the Mic. So, Bears fans, here we go. A persistent Chicago Bears rumor has finally been confirmed, and I found this quite interesting, and it's in regard to a player on the Chicago Bears defense. When you look at the 2024 Chicago Bears defense, it never reached the same heights as that 2023 version, and a big reason for that is the pass rush. And that was one of the reasons why they brought in Montez Sweat. That's one of the reasons why they went out and signed Dayo Odeyingbo, even getting guys like Grady Jarrett, right? They're hoping that helps the pass rush this season. But when last year, when you're looking at the pass rush, it just wasn't really effective. Of course, we had Montez Sweat, and expectation was for him to be the main sack guy. But he even took a dip with only 5.5 sacks. Of course, the expectation was also for Javon Dexter to take a big leap as well. And for the most part, he showed flashes, but definitely didn't take that huge step forward that we were all expecting. So when you're looking at the 2024 pass rush on the Chicago Bears defense, most of the concerns actually centered around Montez Sweat, who once again took a little dip and he only had 5.5 sacks. He didn't have as many pressures as he did in 2023, and its effectiveness just wasn't there. And of course, there was a lot of question marks saying, hey, you know what? Maybe he just needs another running mate. Last year, he was dealing with Darrell Taylor on the other side. Obviously, Austin Booker was also there as well, but he didn't have a true running mate on the opposite side of him. That means he was dealing with the double teams. But at the same time, there's also people out there saying, well, hey, why did Montez Sweat take a dip? He was still under the same defense with Matt Eberflus. Obviously, he was coming off a very, to me, productive year where he had 10 plus sacks, both with the Commanders and the Chicago Bears in one season. And then, of course, he was coming off getting a huge payday as well. So there's a lot of Bears fans trying to question that dip that Montez Sweat had wasn't actually necessary. Here is the interesting part. There's also some Bears fans during this small dip that Montez Sweat had last season. A lot of people are thinking that he was also injured. And we kind of put it down on the side a little bit and brushed it under the rug and said, oh, no, there's no way. Jeff Hughes of the Bears blog actually just confirmed that rumor was actually true, that Montez Sweat was actually injured for most of the season. This is what he had to say, Bears fans. He said the Bears had more sacks than the Chiefs, Lions, and Bills last year, and they have significantly upgraded their defensive coaching staff and defensive line talent. The most important things to track at camp, to the degree will be shown anything of value, is how Dennis Allen is utilizing his defensive line personnel. The second most important thing to track will be the health of Montez Sweat. Sweat dealt with the myriad of injuries in 2024 and has had health concerns since entering the league. The 2025 Bears need him at full strength. Bears fans, that is a bombshell to me. I had absolutely no idea that Montez Sweat was dealing with injuries throughout the whole season. Of course, he showed up on the injury report a couple of times, and I believe he missed only one game last season. So he was able to hide it very well. But that now gets me thinking that maybe a fully healthy Montez Sweat can finally take a step forward now under Dennis Allen. Obviously, Ryan Poles brought in Grady Jarrett, Dayo Odengbo. Obviously, Javon Dexter is hoping to take the next step as well. So now Bears fans can probably be even more excited about the potential of this defensive line, especially when we're considering now that we're having a fully healthy Montez Sweat. And at the end of the day, Montez Sweat will determine how this season goes for the Chicago Bears defense. Once again, it's okay to have the lingering concerns about Dayo Odengbo. I feel like he was a solid addition in free agency, but he's never had more than 8 sacks in a season. Grady Jarrett, once again, I think it's a big addition for veteran mentorship, and I think he's going to be a solid addition on the field as well. But you have to understand that he is now in his 30s as well, and he is way past his prime. And obviously, we want to hope that Javon Dexter can take that another step. But we don't think as Bears fans we should be really counting on those guys. We are looking at the big money man in Montez Sweat. Once again, we're hoping that he can regain his success just 2 years ago. But I think he is going to be the big X factor for the Chicago Bears defense. I have all the faith in the world that if he is fully healthy, now with Dennis Allen calling the shots, I think Montez Sweat can regain form, but here is the concerning part. If he does continue to take a step back, not only was it a bad, contract at that point for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears, that means Chicago Bears will be going into the 2026 offseason with a major hole in trying to find their top edge rushing option if Montez Sweat can't get it done this season. So I think it's good that this rumor, I guess, I don't want to say it was true. I think it's a bad thing that he was hurt, but it's also a good positive thing that if he is fully healthy, hopefully we can get that version of Montez Sweat that we saw in 2023. So Bears fans, I just wanted to bring that to your attention really quick. I find it quite interesting. Definitely looking forward to seeing what Montez Sweat does in training camp and in the preseason. Obviously, this upcoming season under Dennis Allen. I'm just going to hope for the best. That he has a huge bounce back year. So Bears fans, do you feel that a fully healthy Montez Sweat under new Bears defensive coordinator Dennis Allen can have a huge bounce back season for the Chicago Bears defense? Let me know down below in the comment section. But Bears fans, before I let you guys go on today's episode of Keek on the Mic, I also wanted to bring another thing to your attention. Obviously, the reason why Ryan Poles and the Bears brought in Ben Johnson to be the new Chicago Bears head coach was for Caleb Williams and to help him grow to be the best quarterback that he could be. There was, some people out there that maybe been a little bit skeptical of, maybe Ben Johnson not able to come in and change things right away or really connect on a different level with Caleb Williams, and just really worried about the relationship, right? And I never really was concerned about that. But Jeff Hughes of the Bears blog, once again, is hearing that things are clicking on all cylinders, Bears fans, and that's obviously good news. This is what he had to say about it. He says, I think we're going to know a lot about the relationship between Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams in the early days of camp. Initial reports out of Hallis Hall are extremely good. The two men are sporting a noticeable rapport around the building, but that rapport and $5 will get you a ride on the blue line to O'Hare. If the 2025 Chicago Bears are going to be playing in the tournament come early 2026, they can't spend the entirety of summer working on the kinks. They need to look the part quickly. Bears fans, it's a really good sign that obviously they have a really good relationship, really good rapport. Obviously, I talked about yesterday how it seems like Caleb Williams is really taking things that Ben Johnson has to say to heart, especially when you're talking about, the footwork and, maybe work on his play action game as well. I think it's a good thing for Caleb Williams because Ben Johnson is exactly what Caleb Williams needed. Caleb Williams made it very clear that he wanted to be coached hard. He didn't get that from Shane Waldron. He didn't get that from Matt Eberflus. Obviously, Thomas Brown gave him a little bit of that, but at that point of the season, it was just a little bit too late. Ben Johnson comes right in and changes the culture. He's transparent. He calls out his players. It doesn't matter if you are QB1 and Caleb Williams or you are the sixth string defensive end. He is going to get in your face if you're doing something wrong, whether it's the wrong route run or if Caleb Williams is supposed to hit that check down. He will call you out and coach you hard, and that's exactly what Caleb Williams wanted. what I found interesting about Jeff Hughes' little thing that I just read on today's episode of Keek on the Mic is that he said they can't spend the entirety of summer working out the kinks. They need to look the part quickly. Obviously, there's a lot of expectations now that Ben Johnson is coming to be the new Bears head coach / play caller, especially the success that he had with the Detroit Lions. And I'm not saying it's going to be instant success, but I do agree with what Jeff Hughes of the Bears blog had to say in that manner. There's going to be expectations for the Chicago Bears to, almost kind of look the part right away in training camp. Do I think that's actually going to happen? Probably not, but I think they have to work out the kinks faster. So starting in week 1, week 2, they can hit the ground running. My expectation, honestly, especially with a new head coach and Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams going into year 2, is that there's going to be some kinks as they continue to work out the relationship, with the other players on the offense as well. So I think, they may not hit the ground running. Obviously, that's what we want as Bears fans. We haven't seen a good Chicago Bears offense in a very, very long time. But all in all, I think it's really good news to hear that they are clicking on levels, because at the end of the day, that relationship between Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams is going to be the most important thing for the Chicago Bears' success, not only for this season, but hopefully for multiple years to come. So Bears fans, let me know down below in the comment section on how you're feeling about Jeff Hughes of the Bears blog report that Ben Johnson's and Caleb Williams' relationship is clicking on all cylinders. But as always, Bears fans, make sure you guys continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of Keek on the Mic with every single Bears that you know. But other than that, be back for our all new Bears podcast right here on Keek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and as always, bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the Mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the Mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the Mic.